Oh,
When you are advertising real estate property as a seller or a landlord, are you paying more than you should with the advertising? Stay tuned. Let's talk about it. Juicy topic.
good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael Berger, Mark Novak, episode 493, the true cost of marketing your property. What costs what? Where does the money go? Mark, let's talk about it. Who, what, when, why?
Yes. What?
Because I think a lot of the time when an agent is with, let's say in sales, a lot of the time the vendors may think there's a markup, that's income for the agent, and they don't know where the money's going because they're not usually dealing directly with the supplier. They're just being told a figure from the real estate agent and they've just sort of got to go with it.
Correct. And it's juicy because sometimes you may find
I think Mark's dropped in now. So sometimes with marketing, agents could have different pricing. The pricing, like your main costs are realestate.com, photos, floor plan, videography. Domain has its own costs as well, and a couple other portals and channels. Now, a lot of your realestate.com charges would be quite similar, region to region, same with domain. Where you can see a big variance is in photos, videography. Floor plan's quite typical, but I've seen some agents, they spend up to $2,000 for well, he's back. Take it away.
Sorry. Where were we?
I was just saying realestate.com can be quite similar region to region in pricing, but where pricing does vary sometimes is videography, photos. Like some agents spend $2,000 on a video, some are spending a lot less. So, but go on what you were saying before.
Yeah, look, let's be really, really clear. If an agent is doing third-party marketing for you, this is third-party marketing. So advertising that we're doing, if we wish to charge for it, we can nominate where that's going to be. But if an agent is charging you for external marketing, i.e. realestate.com.au, i.e. a signboard at the front of the property, i.e. a floor plan done for the property, if that floor plan person is charging $1, the agent cannot charge more than $1. If the agent charges you more than $1, that's called profiteering from your marketing. Even that's okay, but it has to be disclosed fully in the selling agency that they've provided you. It must say how much they are making from third-party marketing in that agreement, because sometimes there's a cost even for supplying that third-party marketing. But this is the trick, guys. As a seller, you have the right to ask for original invoicing. So if you think or plan or too much for realestate.com.au, you can actually get the realestate.com.au bill that the agency was provided and see dollar for dollar if you're paying the right amount.
But I think a lot of the time to remember, and especially how we operate, we're not interested in making money on the marketing. Marketing is a tool we need to make you money on the sale of the property. And I think that goes for a lot. It's an investment, you know, like a lot of people are worried about, are you using that photographer because they give you a kickback rather than them being the best? So I know we speak for ourselves. We use who we use because they're the best when it comes to the quality, the timing, the turnaround, and just all around good people as well. But it allows us to focus on what we do best: market your property and sell it for the highest price in the shortest amount of time as well. Where I think a lot of owners just, I don't know, maybe they've had bad experiences or they think there's a markup. They're just a little bit weary of that. And I think offering to provide the original invoices, just to be transparent, going, I'm recommending this marketing item, not because I'm going to make money on it, because you need it for your property. It's a key tool we need in our kit to get you the best property price. So they always know there's no secret intention behind the recommendation.
Now, Lisa Novak says it does offer from agency to agency, area to area. Why?
Yeah. The east and the northern beaches, Sydney prices differ greatly. Well, it depends what you mean by differ, as in a video costs different there, or the packages are different there. Like some areas do a lot of, well, not so much now, but they may do a lot of print advertisement. So a campaign in that area could be 20 grand because they're doing 10 grand of newspaper, but each item costs the same. The video costs the same, the photography costs the same, but so it just depends on
Let's
there.
talk some facts. What do realestate.com.au charge differently per suburb? Get that. Realestate.com.au charge sellers different prices. More traffic a suburb will get, you will pay more. So, for instance, if you're a suburb like DY with 12,000 properties sitting in it, with a huge amount of traffic, you're paying one price. If you're lower traffic area, you're paying a different price, like Cromer or Narrowena, which are suburbs of only 1,000 or 2 homes. So they're not generating as much. Now, we are on an amazing package, which is called, there's a few different packages with realestate.com.au that an owner can choose with us. One is about, which is 2255. That's right, guys. It's a lot of money. $2,255 exact cost of what they charge. Now, what that is a premier listing. We only do premier listings within the area because it is basically a monster ad right at the top. It hits your property right at the top on the first page, and we need to, because the suburb of DY, our core suburb that we're in, has 17 real estate agencies and at any one time has 100 properties for sale. We need your property to really stick out the best. So we do that on all properties. That's the cost.
Yeah, and there's variation with photography, but also photography. Remember, as the owner, you also own those photos a lot of the time as well. So if you want to keep them, use them, especially if you decide not to sell, you can ask for those original photos and have them stored away. You may choose to sell at a later date. You may go with another agent and you don't want to pay for photography again. So there's things that way as well. But photography, that can vary property to property, agency to agency, videography as well. But there's, especially with videography, there's different levels. Like you've got your basic property video, and then there's sometimes
$350.
Yeah, $350. And then there's sometimes where you do almost like a short film where there's lots of
$1,500.
Yeah, exactly. So, and once again, you own that as well. When's this paid, Mark, for a lot of owners?
Up front. The agency's paying for enough up front. So third party, we ask sellers to pay for. A floor plan is going to cost anywhere between $150 and $250, depending on what part of Sydney you're from. That's the cost. Now, there are agents that do $0 marketing up front. So believe it or not, by the time you do realestate.com.au 2255, by the time you do domain 18.com.au, $1,800. By the time you do photos, floor plan, video, it could be another $1,500. You could be $5,000 or $6,000 even before you've had your first buyer through the door. We do a $0 marketing setup.
Which is
$0 marketing to set you up.
And what do you get for that?
$0. No, what you get for that is we will bring through database clients. So we have the most amazing buyers on our database ready to go. Burge, your $8 to $8.5 million sale on Friday is a testament of how powerful that database is. So they're people that we've qualified over the months, weeks, or even years and put on our books, kept them in contact with everything new until they buy something.
Yeah, because you find a lot of your database buyers or really hot buyers, you don't need much to draw them in. Like if you think of your passive buyer, or when you go to a portal, you need to have everything there ready to go because they're not that actively looking. So they want to see all the photos, the video, they want to see the floor plan. But a buyer on your database you got the relationship with, it can be as simple as the phone call saying, hey, I've got this property, and they're going to come. Or a lead shot that doesn't have to be professional. That just gets out with an e-blast or an SMS blast or a post on Facebook saying this is coming soon. And you can
and sometimes they don't know what they want, Burge. Until you call them and tell them, they don't even know that's the style of property that they're actually after until that you've dug deep for them.
Yeah. And Lisa made a point, campaign agent, which is it's getting more and more popular these days with basically like financing for the marketing. So as an owner, you may not have the 5 or 10 grand in cash upfront for the marketing campaign. There are companies that will basically finance that 5 or 10 grand. And when the property is sold, they take the 5 or 10 grand plus 10 or 20%, which for cash flow can be worth it. If you've got the decision to maybe paint or clean the house or do the marketing, instead of choosing one, you can do both, and it only costs you $1,000 in interest, but it means a lot cash flow wise. It'd be worth it. So a lot of clients are doing that.
The true cost of marketing your property. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah. The true cost of marketing your property. The big thing I wanted to point out today, guys and girls, is that you could be paying too much, not enough. You have to check, and you have to ask these questions with marketing. Something, Michael, we also talked about was the cost of marketing and the $0 marketing we talked about. $0 marketing is our database, but it does also include an enormous network in our social media with content, Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn. I call it Phil, Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, across all of our agents. We are monsters on digital, and owners are getting that for free. It's a big digital network, free, not charging for it. It's third-party costs we're talking about today.
It's definitely one of those platforms you get what you put in. Like when you look at realestate.com, there's not much you can, like anyone sort of got equal outcome. You put the listing up, they all look very similar with professional photography, and they will, like a two better from you with another agent, they all may get say 10 or 15 inquiries because the same buyers really see your property. It's very targeted, but Facebook really separates the shit from the good because you can have two different agents upload two different properties. One gets 30 inquiries and one gets none. And they say, oh, social media doesn't work. Facebook is very heavy. It's almost, I'm trying to think of an analogy. It's like two people going to the gym and one person doing something and one person not. They're both going to the gym, but they've got very different outcomes. Social media really...
I like that.
Yeah. Because another agent who everyone's got Facebook, but there's a difference between using it and not using it. And until you list the property on social media, you can't, you're not exposed. In other words, you could tell an owner, yeah, I do social media, I look at my page, blah, blah, blah. But until the listing's on and you've got no one following you because you don't post regularly, you don't post good content, you're not putting it in marketplace, you don't have any results. And then that agent will just blame Facebook rather than, hang on, are you posting every day? What are you doing? Where realestate.com, you don't get exposed. Yes, you can do a shit ad on realestate.com, but they really feed you the inquiries. I think a good ad, like a bad ad and a great ad, there may only be a 10% difference between the amount of inquiries from the bad ad to the good ad. But Facebook, a great ad can get 30 and a bad ad can get 0 because your page has no followers. Yeah.
Big time.
Big time.
So
Yeah,
before we sign out, guys, I just want to say again, that's a wrap. The true cost in marketing for selling your property or renting your property. Third-party providers like realestate.com.au, photos, floor plans, and people like that, your agents may charge you, most probably will charge you. They have to nominate this up front. There has to be a formal agreement between you and the agent for those costs. They can't whack you in the end. Those costs sometimes are marked up. Even if they are marked up by $1, that markup should be written in your agreement that you've got with the agent saying, I'm making $1 out of this marketing campaign. Rentals, you will also pay for realestate.com most of the time, depending on how well your agent markets your property. So just be careful on those items, guys, because they are an investment, but you want to make sure you're not paying more for your investment than you should, and that's real estate advertising.
Well, and if you're buying an investment, I would be asking, and you know you're going to rent it out, I'd be asking that selling agent, can you have the photos? Even though the seller bought them, I would ask, because if you're going to be renting it out, it's good to have the professional photography. So, yeah.
Yep. And you can reuse that sometimes that third-party marketing you're going to reuse again, as you said earlier, Michael. So don't be scared of a floor plan if you're managing agent, your rentals agent asks you to get one, because you are going to reuse it every single time you rent your property out. So you may use it again 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times. It's a good asset to buy and invest in.
True. Very true. All righty. Thanks, everyone. Cheers. Bye.
Beautiful people.
Bye.